Hey everyone. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. So today we are going to get in part 2 of our color palette challenge that we're working on together. We are on palette number 2. And today we are going to work on the background, which I have picked out it's going to be a combination of this and this. So I grabbed some colors from the polychromos. So I grabbed the light flesh. I grabbed cinnamon, so these two colors here. And then I grabbed deep red, middle cadmium red, and caput mortem. So we're using the polys today for the background. Okay. So, still haven't finished, but that's okay. So we're going to just jump right into it. So I'm going to start with light flesh, and I'm actually going to do this side. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and we're just going to get started. I'm going to ignore the clouds, and I'm going to put a layer of this down. So just enough to kind of tell the background apart from everything else that's going on. And we're just going to light layer this just enough. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to go back and add more layers and things like that. So we're just jumping right in. I'm trying not to make these videos too long, but at the same time, I want to make sure you guys are able to keep up, understand what's going on, and I don't want to feel like I'm moving too fast. So if I'm moving too fast, or there is something that you don't understand, or you would like me to kind of go in more detail about, let me know. But this one is pretty straightforward. We're just going to kind of blend these colors together, and we're gonna be careful by this chain link because we don't want to drag that gray into the background is what we're gonna do. But aside from that, we are going to just go from dark to light. I had a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do for the background. And I didn't think, firstly, that this color palette was going to be as much of a challenge as it is for some reason. And I don't know why I'm having, I don't want to say a hard time, but I am having a bit of a challenge choosing what colors, where I want to put them. Because I have so many ideas in my head about how I want the picture to look, and they're all pretty good ideas, so it's a little hard to choose just one. So it's kind of almost like, I could have made another copy and tried them all and picked which one I like the best. But in the real world, I don't have that kind of time where I can, do that. So I had to kind of just go, hey, pick one. Pick an idea, go with it. In your head, they all looked pretty good. So it's not really about which one is the best. It's more so about which one you like the most that you think will work. And so I went with this color. So I don't think there's any more background on this side. I just want to make sure that we're not missing any because there's like some little crevices from the maze. So I want to make sure that we got them all. And I can just go ahead and put a whole layer down here too, because there's some background down here, like above the clouds, and it's a little hard to tell. I think this is also sky background because I don't see any clouds. So I'm just going to put some. There's a little bit behind her. I'm not going to do the whole background, but I do want you guys to see where I'm putting. So just in case you don't really know what part is background and what part is chain link and what part is the clouds. So I'm going to put this color down so you guys can see. But for time purposes, I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to do the whole background on both sides. So I'm just going to choose a side and we're going to do it like that. And then if we have time, I will do both sides. But once I show you how to do it, then you can do the other side on your own as homework. And I know I haven't finished my homework from the first video. That's just mainly because work has really been tearing into us. And, you know, as a supervisor, it's a little bit harder. So I can't just, you know, I don't have the energy to deal with all the things that I'm dealing with at work, plus trying to rest and have energy for the next day, and then also finish my coloring homework as well as personal coloring, because I have the colorings that I do for you guys where we do colorings together, and then I have like personal colorings where, you know, there are things that I'm trying to learn how to color on my own and in my own time. So I'm trying to manage all of that. Also, I'm also still sketching in my sketchbook. I'm trying to every day. It doesn't happen every day, but so far for the past 3 days, I have been working in my Ohuhu marker sketchbook. That sketchbook I want to fill up with color. So after I'm done sketching and lining everything, I do want to color what I have in there. Okay, so that's the first color. So next I'm gonna bring in the second color and I'm gonna work my way up from the bottom. And I really just want most of the sky to be light. So this color isn't gonna go all the way up. It'll go up to about probably right in here. So I'm just gonna put some of this color down and we'll see where I would like it to go. So far so good on the video being not interrupted by Yuki barking. I am trying to break him from just sporadic barking. He barks just because, and it will literally be nothing. There will be no one at the door. There will be not a bird, not a dog, not anything for him to bark at. And he will just kind of just stare down the hall and just bark. And I'm not really sure what's causing that. So he's been doing pretty good today. I've been keeping him busy, keeping him, you know, when I feel like he's about to start a barking episode, I'll try to distract him from it and have him do something else. But, you know, he's not even 1 year old yet, so he's still learning, and, you know, he's, in my eyes, still a puppy, even though he's almost full grown. In my eyes, he's still a puppy, because I really feel like the people who had him before me wasn't really training him very well. So trying to train him from this age is proving to be difficult because he is stubborn and was basically already set kind of in his own ways. So it's just kind of breaking him from doing certain things that I'm working on. And you know, he's had some oopsies. You know, he ripped up my floor one day while I was at work, and I was not very happy about that. Luckily, I did not have to pay for it. They came and they fixed it. They didn't mention anything about me paying for it, so that's a good thing. But he did some damage to the floor. He pulled up the whole vinyl tile, a long strip of it. I don't even know how he got it up, but somehow he got it up and he ripped up the whole thing, and it was very interesting. I was at work, and the whole time I was at work, I could see something on the floor, but I'm not knowing that it's the floor that he's pulled up. So I'm thinking maybe, it's like a pair of pants or something he got into. And I'm like, oh, he's got one of our pants or something on the floor. I'm like, I can't really tell what it is on the camera. I'm like, oh, it looks like a pair of pants, or, he got into the laundry or something, not knowing it is literally the floor that he pulled up. And, he knew he wasn't supposed to, because when I came home, he kind of was just, he didn't even bark. Like when I got to the door, he didn't bark like he normally does when I get home. And I said, that's strange. I said, well, maybe he went potty on the floor or something, thinking it's something like that. And I opened that door and seen that floor, and I was like, oh my goodness. And, you could tell he was kind of like he knew he shouldn't have done it, because his ears, had dropped, and his tail, and you can tell he was sorry. And I'm just like, what made you do that? And I can't really say because he was bored, because he's very spoiled. He has lots of toys, lots of chew treats, lots of things to chew on, so I'm not really sure what, he is very curious and very nosy, so maybe, the floor could have felt uneven or something, and it caused him to go at it. I'm not sure. But he hasn't done it since. The real test will be tomorrow when we both go to work. Um, I really would like to find a babysitter for him, just to kind of keep an eye on him while I'm at work on Friday and Saturday, and make sure he's not getting into God knows what, because I do not see how he was able to rip up that floor. And I really don't want him to do it again, because then we'll have to call them out again. And, it is kind of an old floor, but that doesn't mean it's okay to rip it to shreds. All right, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit, because you guys didn't even see when I went up top. Not that there's anything up there. I literally stopped right around in here with the second color. So we're going to move on. So now I have deep red, and I'm just going to come up. I'll probably stop it right about in here. It's not going to go up too far, because this color is pretty deep. And like I said, I want most of the sky to be kind of light. I just want kind of this bottom area to be kind of dark. So I'm just going in, and I think in the next video we will work on the clouds maybe in these trees. I should have my homework done by then. So we'll work on that. Get that together. And I'm just, as you can see, I'm not doing this perfectly. I'm just kind of putting the color in there, and just kind of putting down where I want the color, so you guys can see where this color is going to be at. And you can use any of the other colors from the first video if you're using a different pencil set. I did show the colors from Prismacolor, so if you want to use your Prismacolors instead, I did show that in part 1. So hopefully you guys, if you're following along, then you probably have the printout or made your own, but you have some kind of way of keeping track of the colors, because I did show them. And if you need me to show them again, I will show them at the end, just so that you guys can kind of keep track. I don't really want to show them every video because I feel like you guys wrote them down in the introductory video, I would hope. But if you need the colors again, you can always ask in the comments, like, hey, in the next part, do you mind showing the colors again? You know, for whatever reason you didn't write them down, or I showed them too fast in the first part, just let me know. I don't mind. All right, so you can see it's getting darker, and at the bottom here in this area is kind of where I want it the darkest. And then from there, it just gets lighter towards the top. I'm going to bring this part up just a bit. So right around in here is when it starts to get dark. So the next color is going to be middle cadmium red. And this is kind of where I'm going to start making sure that it's not looking so scratchy. And I'm just going to keep going over the layers because the Polychromos is a pencil that you need to layer. You can blend with them, but they work best when you layer them because sometimes you won't be able to blend certain colors. You're going to have to layer it. So it really all just depends on the situation, and also, believe it or not, the paper. Certain paper you cannot blend the polys with very well. It won't turn out right. So for me, I usually just layer mine. I find they work best that way. I think that's how they were meant to be used. I'm not sure, but that is the way that I use them, and they seem to work best for me that way. I don't have any issue with trying to get the colors to work when I layer them. I know they're going to work because the polys, you can layer a lot with these pencils. So you don't have to worry about, kind of like with the Prismacolors where, you know, after a while you can't put anything on top of it. It starts to look weird. These you can kind of keep going, and it takes a lot for it to be like, okay, hey, that's enough. So it's looking a little patchy right now, but if you keep going, it will all come together. Just gonna bring this one up a bit. And again, be careful near the link because you might pull some of that gray. I hope you guys can see this well. I'm looking into the camera. It looks okay to me. If not, let me know in the comments, which I know you guys will. You guys will definitely tell me like, hey, you didn't zoom in enough or something. So I don't have to worry about that. You guys will let me know. So this one is proving quite a challenge as far as the colors, like I said. But I think I can still piece it together, and I think we'll be okay, and I think that it still will turn out pretty well, even though I wasn't quite sure on how I was going to do the colors. But I think I know